Welcome to day 22.
Welcome to Emotions eCourse, day 22. Faulty thinking, false beliefs. Untrue, just some words here listed are untrue, falsified, completely bogus, totally bogus, baseless, unfounded, misleading. Belief systems, religious views, opinions, assumptions, perceptions, viewpoints, and views. Faulty thinking, false beliefs are all of these words. When we react emotionally to situations, and these situations often in ways that are inappropriate and self-defeating, if we take a step back and look at the situation more objectively, based on negative or irrational thoughts, we are acting on the basis of preconceived notions we have about ourselves, other people, and the world. We may have also internalized the indoctrination of the media, including television shows, movies, song lyrics, and the like, as well as learned these views from our parents, teachers, classmates, and other authoritative figures while growing up. Big males don't weep. Nice girls don't get angry. It's dangerous to trust others. Being alone is difficult. And the list goes on, and those are just a few examples. You could have formed a self-perception based on repeated criticism, like I'm worthless. No, you're not worthless. Or neglect. My needs don't matter. Yes, they do. Or rejection, example. I'm not worthy of being loved. Yes, you are. What makes you any different from anyone else? These things matter, and they matter the most. And these particular hit home for me, specifically birthing stress-free. That is what really, I used to be silent and I wasn't speaking. I thought that my needs did not matter. Isn't that something? I thought my needs didn't matter, and it reflected in my relationship, which went down, which lasted for several years. However, my behavior, I became a drunk and a chain smoker to deal with and cope with it because I didn't want to walk away from it. So I just thought that would be the best thing, and hence, no, it wasn't. So do not think these things about yourself because they are not true. Let us continue. It says, if you behave in ways that live out these erroneous ideas, you may find that other people treat you in a manner that reinforces them. You treat yourself like that, people too are going to do the same. And then to you, that means they are reinforced beliefs, meaning that, oh, it must be true. No, it is not. Never think it is. False ideas we hold become self-fulfilling prophecies, and we become programmed like computers. Those misconceptions we internalized in response to emotional trauma are the most pervasive and persistent. Even if correct in retrospect, such convictions are no longer valid in the present since our circumstances have changed and we now possess a degree of urgency that we did not before. By bringing them to light and giving them a fresh evaluation, we may free ourselves from the grip of terrible memories. Most of the time, we don't even realize that our fundamental beliefs are exactly that. We just take them for granted and believe they accurately represent reality. For us, they serve as a guide to the world. Indeed, we internalize and come to identify with such views. The anxiety that results from imagining the worst, the self-depreciation that follows, and the effort to fulfill impossible standards are all possible outcomes of holding on to inaccurate ideas. If you believe, for instance, I must worry about an issue before there's any prospect of it being fixed, you'll be far more anxious than someone who doesn't believe this. Your sense of self-worth and confidence will suffer if you tell yourself, I'm nothing until I achieve and other people approve of me. Alternately, if you tell yourself things like, I must do everything precisely or there's no sense in trying, you'll end up doing less and feeling more pressured. Psychologist Nathaniel Branden came up with a method called sentence completion to get his patients to talk about their unspoken emotions. Isn't that something? Because people are afraid of being judged or ridiculed, they often stifle their actual emotions and suppress their deepest aspirations. Repressing one's true desires leads to an internal death and a loss of one's own integrity. You die when you repress. Speak up. That's why God gave us mouths, and we serve a God I serve a God that actually spoke everything into existence. As you know, I'm a pastor, I'm a Christian. Therefore, I was speaking surely of myself. But yes, as a Christian, we serve a God that speaks. Therefore, we speak and things happen. Also, in my leadership book that I have written, I discuss, or if you decide to take me on as we see that we may be a fit for each other, that I may be your coach, these are things that I also do. You will finish sentences because sometimes you suppress so much, we don't know that they're suppressed until you're in an environment. But if you're just around me and we're talking casually, that environment may not present itself and those things may stay repressed. So I do believe highly in this method of answering, just finishing sentences. That's it. You're not answering any questions. You're not pulling anything out. You're just simply saying what comes to mind and your emotions and feelings are being expressed. So thank you, Nathaniel Brandon. So let us continue the practical. We challenge you to finish the following words as candidly and honestly as you can. Let it all out and then investigate each emotion to determine the underlying belief. Now again, these are questions that they're real quick. And if you just screenshot them and take them with you, there's something to just see. You may not get an answer the first time. It may be repressed or suppressed, or you may just not feel comfortable. And in doing so, you can go back to them. So the example of a question, I consider myself to be someone who, mind your answer can just go on. Doesn't have to be one syllable answer word. Okay. So to give you an idea of who I am, one item I like to share with you is another one. I don't want anybody to know that I am, since it's one of the things that defines me. In order to stay alive, I have to do things like, I have been doing this my whole life since it is the only way I know how to get by. Another, admitting this is difficult for me since. Another, when I'm feeling upset, I find that. Another, what would I do if I didn't care what other people thought is or thoughts are? Growing up, I always knew that. Another one, I would try it if I knew I couldn't fail. What if I told my spouse, friend, relative, colleague, all of this? Recognizing that you have some incorrect ideas is the first and most critical step toward releasing them and deprogramming yourself. The next step is to examine your long-held conviction with the help of the following questions to determine whether or not you want to make any changes. Where is the proof of this claim? To what extent, if any, does this conviction serve me consistently? Does this conviction take into consideration the whole picture, including all that I've ever known? Is it true that this belief improves my quality of life? To what extent did someone else's influence shape my opinion, or did I arrive at this viewpoint independently? Was there a defining moment that caused me to start thinking this way? How can I improve my life by embracing a different set of beliefs? Those questions bring us to the end. How to Make Money Serve You is my first book in my 10-part series about money. Money is mental. Everything is up here. Money is mental. I don't know if you knew I had that book, but money is mental. It's a 10-part series. So these are all the parts here. However, it's my bestseller. Money is Mental is a complete 10 parts ebook series. This is part 1. This is going to tell you how to make money, get your money to start working for you. Okay? You see that? Whether you have it or not, we're all born rich. Takes faith, and I believe that. So, with that being said, lovelies, visit alwonza.org to schedule a meetup with me for individual coaching to help you overcome any blockages and problems as they develop through this course. That brings us to the end of day 22, and I will see you tomorrow.